Good afternoon, fashionistas. It's me, Shay Robinson, your wonderful blogger, here again to talk to you about something else going on great and fabulous in fashion. Many of you probably have ran into this wonderful dilemma of trying to find the perfect dress at an affordable price. You probably have thought about making a dress on your own, but you're like, yeah, cutting up the patterns, all of the sewing that's involved. Well, believe it or not, I'm here to show you another one of my fabulous DIYs in regards to how to have a no-sew dress. Sounds a little strange, but believe it or not, it does exist. So the first thing you need is a large piece of fabric. Normally I say about 3 yards is good, but in this case, I have an even easier recommendation for you. You're gonna think I'm crazy when I say this, but a curtain panel, okay? This piece of fabric that I actually have is actually one paneling from a curtain. So literally you can go to JCPenney's, Walmart, and go in the curtain section, find a fabulous pattern that you like, and purchase the curtain. These run about 10 bucks, and I got it actually in black because it's pretty easy. Everybody loves black, and I'm gonna show you how to make a wonderful dress with a curtain panel. Okay, so the first thing after you get the actual piece of fabric is you want to make sure that maybe you have a test model, so maybe a girlfriend of yours, your mom, sister, or maybe even your daughter. I always recommend, since it's going to be literally just wrapped around your body, to make sure you have on the right shapewear, just in case, because you never know, because you're going to actually do a lot of pinning once you're actually in a dress. Okay, so once you get the fabric, the first thing you want to do is you are going to take one end of the fabric, and you're literally going to hold it behind your shoulder and breast area. The other part of the fabric you're literally going to bring around. Now there's two different ways that you can actually do this once you get to this step. You can either come across your shoulder and pick up all of the fabric in the back, or B, you can actually bring it all the way around. But I'm going to use this as a good example and starting point for the first way you can do this dress. Okay, so once you get it wrapped around, a lot of y'all are probably like, oh my God, the dress is going to fall off of me. But the key to this is where the pinning actually gets involved. Okay, so once you have the dress actually wrapped around to this point, you're going to notice that in the back of the actual dress itself, you're going to have all of your fabric. Okay, so your fingers are going to have to be a little bit nimble. So this is the actual end that you began with the actual fabric. Okay, so it's right here in my hand. And what you're literally going to do is you're going to pin the first end to the actual wrap that you wrapped around the back of the dress. Safety pin works good. Sticks pins work well as well. If you have a whole bunch of brooches at your house, you can actually use those as well. But you're just literally going to close the two fabric pieces together. That way you have the dress actually handled in the back, so you don't have to worry about it falling again. Okay, the next problem is probably this right here that you're going to run into. Okay, and this is where the belt comes into play. Okay, you take a regular belt. Notice if you've seen some of my other clips how much I love elastic belts. You're literally going to take the elastic belt. It comes around your waist, and it's actually going to close around your waist. Okay. Now, depending on your size, once again, you'll have the right size belt because you know your size better than I do. My little mannequin that I have here, she has a super small waist. So what I'm going to have to do, just for safety's sake, just to show you the finished product, I'm going to have to pin her just to make sure that her belt actually holds in place because she's super tiny. So we're going to get the belt in place here. It's giving me a little bit of a fight. There we go. All right. Start to fall in the process of trying to get that together. All right, there we go. And it looks like my pin popped out. So let me put my pin back in place. Don't worry about that. Sometimes that happens. Okay, so you just put your pin back in place. Okay. All right. So we're going back to where we was. And now we need to get it all the way in the back again. And we're going to tighten up the belt. So looks a little strange, I know, but as we go along, you're actually going to see the full picture. Okay, and we're going to get her belt. Because remember, you won't have this issue because you'll have a belt that fits you perfect. So my little mannequin here is just for our sample just to show you what it actually looks like in this demo. But you'll have a wonderful belt at your house that fits you perfect. Safety pins work just in case you do have a belt that's a little too big, as far as getting it to hold in place, just for the actual purpose of wearing the item. All right, so it looks like we're good now. All right, so you have the belt on now with the actual item. The top part of the fabric is actually across the bust, and remember, so far all I've done is just wrapped it. The next thing that you're going to do, you have to make sure that your fabric is actually fitting really snug. It's another thing, so make sure you pull it and gather it. Okay, and you already have the back wrapped around, so this is now covered by the belt that's now holding it in place. This is your excess fabric that's now coming above one of your shoulders. There's two options that you can actually do in regards to this. You can either A, leave it like this and just currently leave it as an actual shawl, which works perfectly fine, or you can actually go ahead and bring it back around your shoulder blades to the other side. If you decide to do this, make sure that you once again utilize your belt, so then this tail end that you're bringing around, just like the other fabric, actually gets held by the belt that you're currently wearing. And I'm going to unpin her so you can physically see it. All right, so now you have the actual shoulder, one shoulder. You have a cute little flare for your shoulder, because remember, your arm is going to be actually here on the dress. You have a complete actually covered dress, and then a wonderful asymmetric bust that crosses across it. Okay, and then in the back of the dress, just in case you're curious, this is what it actually looks like. And notice how when you have a monochromatic color, how everything actually kind of blends all in, and your belt won't look like this because you'll have a belt that actually fits. But another good trick that you can use where it's completely smooth is if you don't want to wear a belt, you can always use just a really cute brooch. If you have to pin something to literally accessorize the back side of your dress, so it actually looks like a formal gown that has like a little flare on the very end of it, so which is another cool benefit. You can also use cute brooches, as I'm going to show you, on the top. So I'm going to take this wonderful cute brooch and I'm actually going to place it on my dress. And since it's just fabric that's easy for you to work with, you literally can just gather it as you need, move it however you want to, because once you get everything smooth and in the actual belt itself, you're doing really good. So everything else is literally just you accessorizing it and making it fabulous. There we go. And make sure you're very careful with those brooches, because you can pin yourself like I just did. And I'm actually going to add a second pin to this brooch because it's pretty heavy, just to hold it in place. So make sure as you're selecting objects for the actual item as far as accessories goes, that you get something that's easy on the fabric. And then the last thing that you want to do, of course, is either add a wonderful beaded necklace like this one, which is really cute. Or you can add a solid necklace, and this particular one is solid black to go along with the solid black dress that you're actually going to be wearing. Personally, I think that the one that has a pop of color with it is beneficial because it plays off of the actual brooch that you may be wearing. So in this case, I'm going to opt with the wonderful necklace that's not only a twist with black and silver, it also has some metallics in it as well that literally brings out the brooch. So this is a fabulous dress. Remember that it is all literally one piece of fabric that it was done with, and all you have to do is be very handy in regards to your pins. Make sure you have a really good belt that you use on a regular basis, and ask for some assistance when it comes to twisting it around and making sure that it's secure in the back. But we literally didn't have to sew anything to create this dress. It's just one large piece of fabric that's completely wrapped around the body and then given an extra flare across the top. So that's my tip in regards to actually making you a cheap dress, literally from scratch without having to ever touch a sewing machine. Thanks for watching.